Well, you guys have had so many games this preseason. You got another one coming up. How valuable is that for you all just to, after a short summer, get back on it and get into real game action?
Yeah, it's good. It's more basketball, obviously. More games to get ready for the season. Obviously we facing good teams, facing a good team tomorrow. So just go out there, play hard and practice the stuff that we've been working on all training camp.
Mark often talks about, player development, sometimes being not just individual work, but, developing how tight and connected you are on the floor with your teammates. How are you feeling that within your game, just in terms of some of that nonverbal connection that you're continuing to build?
Pretty good. I mean, all that developed with practice, obviously. Just having the guys that I played with last year, it's a little bit easier, but I feel like it's always the building. We're building even more. We try our best to communicate on the floor, on both sides of the floor, and we keep getting better at that.
Mark mentioned that you had your lowest body comp since 2019 coming into this season. Just was that a focus for you? And what did you do? Kind of what was your focus in the off season for you?
Just knowing that we had a short off season, obviously, I kind of had to save some energy. I couldn't go too hard on the court just because, we played so many games last season. So, I kind of took a little bit of my diet and, how I was approaching the weight room. Hired a new chef, worked with a nutritionist, worked a lot with my trainers as well, and had a lot of convos with the people here as well. So a bunch of different stuff that, I just wanted to spend less energy on the court and still be ready for training camp and having a good body. So it was more of that.
Well, now that you've been in training camp for a few weeks, just how are you feeling overall in terms of?
Pretty good, yeah. Obviously, turn the page. It's a new season in front of us, so my body felt really good. I did the work that I had to do after all the celebration this summer, but did the work that I had to do to get my body right, and now we're all ready.
You work these preseason games. Are you come in like maybe working on things that you worked on in the off season, things you want to add to your game, offense, defense, or is it more just team oriented stuff?
Obviously, this summer it was kind of hard to add stuff to my game just because of the short period of time that we had. But just time the stuff that I've been working on and what I need to do, for this team. And obviously, I gotta perfection my role and do the stuff that I gotta do to help this team. So that's a lot of that was watching film and just seeing the stuff that I could get better on. But yeah, it was that.
You mentioned perfecting your role. You have had so many reps and had so much opportunity to kind of perfect shot, pass, drive decisions that seem to just have that so down with what works for this team and what this team needs. What was that process like for you? And maybe now what is it like to watch a guy like Kaysen or a guy like AJ Mitchell? Some of these younger guys who are having to sort through that and make those pass shoot tracks.
Yeah, you said that the best thing to do is really read the game and see what the game is giving us. Obviously, we have a lot of point of attack on our team and guys that can create for us. So, we just got to be at the right spot at the right time. And then, watching film helped a lot. Just seeing what position we can be in when those guys has the ball. But, watching Queso and even AJ and, all the guys that buying into that is really big.
You talked about how you guys have to have that mindset of still being the hunter rather than the hunted. Just how much has he been a tone setter for you guys during camp?
Yeah, he's been huge. A real leader, real vocal, just bringing the energy and intensity every day. He's really leading by example. You hear his voice in the gym, and he's right about that too. That's our approach, and that's how we want to come into the season.
Yeah, Lou, this is like your seventh go around. You've seen a lot of rookies come in, a lot of rookies leave. What sticks out about Brooks?
He plays hard. That's the biggest thing. And looking back to me when I came in, I didn't really know a lot. The biggest thing for me to earn was to play hard, and I always felt my energy on the court. And I feel like he has that. Every time he steps on the court, he plays hard, and he plays the right way, which is big. And, having a rookie coming in and playing the right way is rare to see. And then him coming down having the right mindset is good.
Just curious, how vocal is he out there on the court? Like, I see he plays hard, but I rarely see his mouth move. How?
Yeah,
how vocal?
Obviously, he's a rookie. Training camp, first couple of weeks. So he's asking a lot of questions. He's pulling guys on the side and asking some direct questions. I spoke to him a little bit. I know I've seen him going to the AC a couple of times. And, anytime he has a question, he's comfortable going to anybody to ask a question, which is huge. But, that's part of his game, and I feel like he's gonna get to the vocal point. He's that type of guy, but it's just gonna take some time.
You mentioned the playing hard. Is that something that guys just have in them? Is that watching guys like yourself, older veterans? How's that come about?
I would say it depends. Obviously, a lot of guys has that in them. He's one of them. But sometimes it helps. Just watching the older guys playing like that, and you just feed off that. But for Brooks, I feel like he already has it in him.
You've had a lot of guys that have kind of gone through the ringer as secondary playmakers. Aaron Wiggins and Lou, and I know the formula maybe for each of those guys is a little bit different in terms of their shot, pass, drive, decisions, and all of that. But what have you learned, generally speaking, about how guys like, you got Kaysen and Brooks and AJ Mitchell and some of these guys to maybe go through that process when they're going to be in those types of positions on the floor?
Yeah, it's our system's a little bit interchangeable, so it's built to have multiple guys that can handle the ball, and it's kind of positionless in terms of, especially on the break. The older NBA was like the 1 runs here, the 2 runs here, the 3, and the league now is way more random than that, including us. And so you need guys that can be in different spots, not only handling, but we've used guys in the dunker and as rollers, obviously. So we try to develop the players holistically, and then they develop strengths inside of that, and we lean more towards what they do well. But we've got a lot of guys that can initiate.
Brooks had a stat stuffing night the other night, 28 minutes. Tell me some of the stats don't show that makes them so impactful.
Yeah, hard playing, physical, competitive, in a good sense for the game. He's not just like a brute out there. I mean, he knows how to play and understands what we're trying to get done. He's still learning a lot of things, the NBA game, what it feels like out on the floor, our system, his teammates. So there's a lot of runway for things that he can learn, but I think it just shows, how high of a floor you can have when you've got, that kind of physical profile, and then you play hard and compete on top of that.
Is that something you guys see when you're scouting? I mean, that competitive, hard playing?
Yeah, I mean, that's Sam and his group, and they identified him as a priority person going into the draft, and they were spot on that one. What I did as little on the draft this year as I've ever done because we played so deep, and so what they told me about him has come to fruition. I mean, he's exactly what they said he was. So we're really excited about him. He's done a great job so far in the preseason.
Just as a bit of a follow-up to what I was asking earlier, the last 2 times that Kaysen has played with kind of the main core rotation guys, he's had 8 assists, and not necessarily projecting that forward or anything, but do you think there's something that he's learned about playing off of those guys, being a secondary creator with that group, that he's brought into this season?
Yeah, he just keeps getting better. I think he's a developmental player. He's young. This is only his 3rd season. I think sometimes you forget guys are developmental players when they're that impactful, but Chet, high impact player, still getting better. Kaysen, high impact player, still getting better. Even Dub, last season was just his 3rd year, and as high impact as he was, he's still getting better. So Kaysen's got a lot of runway. He's got a lot of things he can still improve on. He works really hard in the summer. He's not interested in staying the same. He's ambitious in terms of his work, as humble as he is, and he's definitely gotten better since last season.
You talked about really emphasizing moving to windows offensively, and for a guy like Hartenstein, I felt like he was a recipient of a lot of those sort of plays where he found the open windows offensively. Have you seen him kind of grow and build that chemistry with the guys to kind of know where to be on that end of the floor?
Yeah, it's a huge part of our offense, everybody's offense, but certainly our offense, with the amount that we drive the ball. You want to be available, and by you moving to open space, you're creating, wherever you're moving from is space that you're creating for a teammate. So if in an ideal world, if you've got 4 guys kind of moving around penetration, they're all kind of benefiting from each other and contributing to each other, and you're putting the defense in a dilemma. So he's done a great job. You know, it's something he's definitely improved on since his time here at the beginning of last year. But that's a huge emphasis for us as we go back and watch the playoffs. It's not like, you know, the lessons from those high leverage games aren't like, man, we need to reinvent anything. It's like we just got to be 2% better at the things that happen the most and that we're already pretty good at.
What are you hoping to get out of the final preseason game tomorrow night?
Similar, everybody's different. You know, at this time of year, we try to look at it on a case by case basis. So some of it's just rhythm for guys that, are higher minute players. Some of it's developmental time still, because we're not going to play a full slate of minutes. But I mean, we're gonna play the guys that are in a good position to play. We're not resting just for the sake of resting tomorrow.
Coach Brandon looks great, in my opinion. How much did last year's championship run and him just kind of standing by watching everything help get him into a position where he may contribute meaningful minutes?
I think the couple things that have helped him are, number one, he's gained probably 20 pounds. He's put on a lot of good weight, which at that position is significant. That's a position that physically you need that. And he's done a great job with his body. And then the second thing is he didn't go through summer league or training camp with us last season. And for, a first year player in the program, a guy like Brooks, to get summer league training camp, summer league games, then a little bit of time, and then September build up, this training camp, these preseason games, there's a ton of growth there for a guy like Brooks or, any rookie player. He didn't get any of that last year. So this is his first full cycle in our system. And I really think that helps guys the first time around. The fifth time around, I'm not sure they're getting the same jump out of it, but it's when it's your first time, you get a good little pop. So I think he's benefiting from that. And the physical changes, he's definitely better than he was a year ago.
Preseason as a whole, did all change your goals this go around compared to last year, considering the short summer, the champions, anything change?
I mean, just trying to be aware of what guys need physically to be ready to go for an 82 game season. I think we're just trying to thread that needle, give them enough that they can get their conditioning and rhythm in a place where they're positioned well to start the season, but not add to the cumulative load that comes with an 82 game season. So we're trying to toe that line. I think every team does that. And we try to do that every year. It really hasn't changed our philosophy for how we handle the preseason. If you look at how we've handled it in the past, it's been pretty similar.